Hey guys, good evening. It is Thursday, right? Thursday, December 6th? December 6th. Let me go. Um, I've been excited to leave this video all day, quite honestly. 'Cause I want to just share something with you that I don't know how to say it. I guess I had a sense of some way redemption in my mind. I don't know. Maybe a little bit of uh, pity for some people. I had kind of an aha moment this morning. I got up early and I was making myself a couple of sandwiches. And it was early in the morning, and it dawned on me, I've been working a lot of hours, as you guys may know and have heard me talk about. That's fine. I have no problem with that. And I was realizing, how much I miss my kids during these hours because I'm going to get home at 8 o'clock tonight, and they'll be, I got them with their mom because I'm not there to get them dinner and get them off the bus and the things I used to do, and we'll be able to do again. And I miss my kids, but it's funny what I found. Not one person has reached out to me to hate on me and tell me how much of a crappy father and human being I am and how selfish I am when I'm not seeing my kids because I'm putting in 14, 15 hours a day working for somebody. Yes, I'm making money and paying the bills. But it was funny how, I don't know how far back you guys go on my journey, but on the very first day of my journey, first of all, before I left for the journey, I had a close family member tell me I was selfish and it's all about me. I had on my first day of the journey at the Adams County thrift shop, the director tell me he couldn't understand how I'm walking to prove humanity by abandoning my kids. And I had some people, there's somebody in York that's been trolling me to some degree, saying how useless I am, and somehow because I've abandoned my kids and didn't pay bills and things like that. Well, my bills are being paid, we've lost nothing, it's a struggle, I grant you. But as I'm making my sandwich this morning, I'm saying, you know what? I haven't seen my kids a whole lot in the last 3 weeks. Not by choice. I mean, I see them. I certainly see them more than when I was on the journey. But I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about where I was going to go to work, where my boss is in from out of town and flying in from Houston, and my COO is out of town, spending a week up in, Allentown, PA. And I thought about my previous existence, where I had a director of warehousing that was jetting all over. I dropped something. Sorry. Jetting all over the country, in fact, the world. Looking at that was related to business, and I looked at my previous employer and all the travel that's involved with all these people, and travel's a grind. And I'm sure, given a choice, that 99% of them would much rather be home with their kids than traveling. But that's not what life dealt them. This is what they do to provide for their families and so forth. But my point is, nobody ever questions them or feels sorry for them. And the one thing that got me through the journey, when the detractors, the haters, were talking about me being away from my kids, as I said, if you haven't heard it before, a few years ago, I was away from my family for 6 months when I got transferred up to Indiana. But I was making, $90,000 or $100,000, so nobody cared. No one cared about my kids then. I wasn't a son of a bitch father then. A few years later, I was down in Charlotte for an extended period of time. Nobody cared that I was away from my kids, 12 days out of 14 because I was working 14 hours a day down there. It just makes me laugh. Haters will always hate, and but it was this morning as I was making the sandwich when I started to think about that, and in that very same moment, there was a memory that triggered making the sandwich about the journey. And I've had such a wonderful experience telling my kids, sharing my story with my kids, my friends, when the book gets finished and things like that. I just laugh. I've had so much support, so much. But today, while I was on that journey, and the haters, there weren't a lot of them, they would play in the back of my head. Am I doing the right thing? Am I being selfish? Am I hurting my children somehow? I mean, sure as heck I miss them. But you know what? My kids are great. We picked up like it was never a problem. They love the stories and sharing movies and hearing about my friends that they're going to meet someday. And there are friendships I've made that they'll make. There's no way, even for a moment, I regret this, even a little bit. And what opened my eyes to that, because before I maybe had a little bit of a question. But like I said, nobody cares right now that I'm working, you know, from 4 or 5 in the morning till 7 or 8 at night and getting home and wiped out and just going to sleep. Nobody cares, because guess what? You know what? I'm home. And then you think about how many parents out there, how many households, you know, have that non-traditional mom and dad work 9 to 5, or the dad works and mom stays home, or they have that. I have a dear friend of mine who I've been speaking with, and he's heck to try to pin down. Why? Because he's always traveling in an airport and things like that. And that's not to judge him by any means. You know, but that's what life is. But yet somehow that's readily acceptable. And yet, you know, me resigning from my position and walking and testing society out a little bit was a problem for some. And to all of you that wanted to hate, all I can say is you just don't get it, guys, and you probably never will. And for that, I kind of feel bad for y'all. Maybe you'll never have the courage to want to take on an excursion or a journey like I did, and be able to share that with your kids and your children and your friends and your family and complete strangers, and make friends you never had before. And what an example that my kids have seen already as I share some of the stories with people. It's just been beautiful. So today was kind of one of the weird epiphany moments of the journey, in that after the fact, today for some reason, December 6th, right? December 6th, it all came together that beyond any shadow of any doubt, without removing any question whatsoever, I absolutely know it was the right thing to do. Do I have some struggles ahead? Sure I do. You know, but I anticipated that before I left. And, you know, when this is all said and done, who knows what this does for my future, not just emotionally, mentally, and for my family, but maybe monetarily. You know, who knows what the book turns into. I came back a different man, a committed man in a lot of ways, and it's pretty exciting. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, that I had this aha moment this morning, and I'm really glad I did. To those of you that have supported me along the way and have been part of the journey and welcomed it, thank you for doing so. You know, thank you for being the 99% of the people that, you know, get it and so forth. Mary, how are you, sir? Thank you for being those guys and gals and supporting me. And like I said, there's always going to be a small percentage that don't agree with what you got to do. But to you folks, you just don't get it, man, and that's okay too. So one other story I wanted to share. It's really neat when you meet some people. I met somebody who is my customer today. I don't know how he feels about me, but certainly much respect for him. Young guy, dad, talked a little bit, and I don't know, maybe it's just the way it's always been for me to some degree, certainly on the journey, but I connected really easily with him. And again, I don't know how he feels about me, but it wasn't one of these awkward moments at all. As to, you know, I need to put on airs for my customer, he needed to put on it. We just seemed to be talking like we've known each other for a long time about common things. But he shared a story with me. It was interesting. He has some friends that have a young lady, a daughter that maybe in the 6th grade now, but she was diagnosed with cerebral palsy when she was young, and was told, you know, she might not even live this long. And right now she's currently walking with her walker and running and things along those lines. Thank you, sir. And kind of neat to hear. And the one thing that he was sharing is that her dad is writing a book as well. And part of it is because, you know, certain people have this energy, this kind of spirituality. And I guess he was sharing with me, without even knowing what I had done, you know, how the dad has found his way to become more spiritual and in touch with thoughts he never had before, and then how his daughter seems to be this little beacon, this little, you know, radiates this energy and this karma, and we all know people like that out there, and it was just really neat to hear the story being told by him, you know, a third party on the outside, and you can see the smile, the joy in his face telling me the story about this young lady. And then I shared with him some of my Jet Smith and my Amanda Todd and Papa Joe and so many others that I met along the way. So It was a great morning for me. I had to get to work, and I've been sidetracked all day. I calmed down a little bit now, but wanted to share that with you guys. That beyond any shadow of a doubt, for those of you that don't understand it, that's okay. Not everybody has to, but trust me when I tell you that I definitely the journey was well worth it, and will pay me and my family back in spades, long after the walking stops. So thanks, guys. I love you all. Thanks for following. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.